Okay, we're live. I'll get you the link.
We are Livy,
Yep,
1 minute early.
we can give it a
Okie
minute.
dokie. Here's the link. So a little bit more off the cuff today. This is an unexpected time change. Sorry about that, Kage and anyone listening. Um, oh, this is still sending me your our stream.
Oh, give it a second. Let me
Huh.
try one more.
Yeah, I got my old man's in town from Arizona, so I'm gonna be out all Sunday, golfing and stuff. So cannot do it on Sunday, so we moved it to today.
And as I
Okay,
hate
I'm
my
in, I'm in, I'm
father,
in. Cool.
I'm not able to have that
All
same
right, this
privilege.
is episode 4 of the Feeding the Trolls podcast, Nib and Kage. And we received some feedback. We're supposed to give our show titles now. So we wanted to go with Oh Content We're Out There.
Yep, let me go ahead. Oh, I have to adjust that too. Let me get that done.
I think I lost my co host.
Okay, let me update the title too. I forgot all about that.
And I gotta think of something, some way to match Tamaki. I don't know if anyone listens to or watches Tamaki's video, but he's great. I love watching. It's this Japanese player who does poll videos, and he always starts his videos with Dragon Quest Tacto. He does this thing. He's got the sunglasses. I don't have him to do the whole impression, but we got to come up with something like that. He also has catchy music. So what are we doing with our life?
Well, you could make catchy music. You're talented in that regard, and I've got the sunglasses,
Yeah, but
so
I'm also lazy and busy, so
uh, that's true. That's very true.
yeah. Cool. Well, so how are you doing this morning, sir, Kage?
I'm doing all right. I'm just glad that we're doing this today as opposed to you if you were to be like, well, can we do this tomorrow on Saturday at noon? I'd be like, well, it's going to have to wait. I work Saturdays. Uh,
The only day you work, you neat.
well, the only days I don't work are my schedule's weird. I've got Thursday, Friday, and Sunday because I do like 4 10s essentially, or well, 4 11s. I like my free time.
That's hardcore. I think I'd rather do what I do, which is just the 8 to 5 normal thing. I think at hour 11, I would be just ready to get the hell out, like
Well, I
long before that.
generally take like a power nap for lunch. Instead of getting something to eat, I will go pass the fuck out and then get back up and go back to work.
Right.
The joys
Yeah,
of
yeah,
working from home.
yeah. It's Kage's employer, and he sleeps on the clock. Or maybe off the clock. Maybe you clock out for
No,
lunch.
I
I don't know.
definitely clock out for lunch. I don't want to get graded against that.
So we got Shane Meh is in today. Glad you could be here. Yes, he's called Team Tamaki. Sorry, but I think we all knew who Tamaki
Well,
is.
wait, how
So
is he a team when he's one person?
I know. Yeah, he's just one guy. Also, I think he's primarily a food blogger. So, but well, anyway. Cool. So how's your arena going this week?
So I tried to play my same old team and I got shit on, and then I took a bunch of your guys' advice and I busted out True Lord Dragon form. And again, I'm that guy who likes to use Max Awaken units, so me sitting there using like a 1 star unit and doing better than on my Max Awaken team just tells you that this game does have a semblance of fairness. Like you can't raffle stomp everybody. You have to use some sort of what's that? What's that thing in the name of the game? Tactics? Yeah, you have to use tactics.
Tactics.
Yeah.
You have to do trial and error. Oh no.
No, no. Jesus Christ. But it works. I mean, I just spray arena teams with Dragon Lord, True Forms Fire, Halberd Sources Fire, and then I come up with some other units. And by the time I get to them, they're mostly dead anyway. So it's a win-win.
Oh yeah. His breath is insane this week. It one shots literally any White King,
And
um,
he's
Bone
S5.
Baron.
So I mean, people have always said,
Oh
"Well, you
yeah.
don't bring S5 units to arena." Like, well, I can't get him to S6. I don't have enough materials that don't exist yet, and he's still doing good. So it's like you
Yeah.
can bring lower tier units to arena. It's not a sin. And yeah, if he
Right.
was S6, I get 100 more damage out of him, but still sufficient with the
How
boost for
much
the
do
week.
he's doing like I think like 600 or 700 with his breath.
So mine's doing, I want
Pretty
to
good.
say, like 450 at S5 with not even plus 10 on the fire. So it's good. I
On
mean,
a on a on a Frizz week?
on a frizz week, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So question from Shane's, what are you guys going to talk about today? So on the docket we're gonna chit chat about arena experiences. We've both had conversations with Malcolm in DMs, which is pretty awesome. Very promising stuff. Um, as a counter to the I'm not going to mention names. Kage might, but I'm not going to mention names. Um, gloom and doom about they don't give a shit about the game. I think clearly they do. We'll make a case for it today. We have an account roast. We'll do after that. It's Game Visions is up this week. Next week we have Tropical Vision, so Vision, two in a row. After that we have Double Question Mark. Finally, and after that, we have Marco. So if you want to go after Marco a month from now, let us know. Um, so continuing on about Arena, what rank are you right now?
I think I'm like 109. I am awful this week. I think it's the lowest I've ever been.
Move the mouse over nib cam. Oh, that he's talking to you. Like, what did I do? Okay. No, I actually, when I see the playback, when you are mousing over like the pictures of people's accounts, it also goes over my face for some reason.
That's
So
hysterical.
it looks like you're dicking around with my portrait. Um, yeah, I'm doing okay. I had a really bad day two because I was super salty about it. A Ragnar came up to my Dragon Lord True Form at full health, and just wiped him out in one crit. It was like 973 damage. Um,
Fuck.
yeah, Ragnar is no joke. Dragon Lord True Form, he does not have a lot of defense. Actually, he has a good amount of HP. But boy, if you get a good crit on him, he's done for. And that's a level 110 max awakened Dragon Lord True Form. Granted, I have agility gear on him, so um, I mean, you can obviously add a couple more 100 HP on him if you really want to make him more tanky. But I find the agility more useful. So that was a 116 on Monday, and that's the only points I've lost this week. So. Hey, we got double question mark in the house. How's it going?
Hey. So basically, though, because we still have the arena situation, any points lost, as long as those guys don't mess up, which Zero did this week, which is funny because again, the dude's cheating and he's still losing points once in a while. It's one of those things.
Maybe
Yes,
he had a auto on accident, so his macro didn't work.
or something, or maybe somebody actually got a hit off and they messed him up. Who knows?
Right. Yeah, I think he still has only lost 8 points this week. So, um, and then I think we still have Tiger Bull, who is the other confirmed. There's a few of them actually that are still either 0 points lost or 4 points lost. Tiger Bull is definitely a cheater. He's at 0 points still. So, I'm at rank 11 right now. I ended up in rank 11 last week, so I'm like literally getting cheated out of 100 medals last week and maybe this week too. Thank you, cheaters. So
Well,
I've stopped caring about it compared to before. I care about it still, but not. I'm not like gonna go find Malcolm in real life or anything.
it's one of those things where you could only say it so many times, and they said they're working on it, so now it's like, well, it's being worked on. All we could do is sit back and wait, because again, I mean, what could realistically we do besides report it, throw it out there? I mean, we could make
Yeah,
15 videos about it, bitching about it for 3 months, and still not have a result any quicker than it was going to get done.
right. Right, and I do understand that with such a small subscriber base that their top priority may not be looking for reasons to ban people, just from a business point of view. Without, I mean, of course, that's very short-sighted because how do you measure the intangible effect of pissing off your legitimate customers? So it is what it is, but we've done
Right.
all we can.
Right, because again, it's one of those things where, well, majority of your top end paying customers are seeing what's going on, and this isn't like Japan where they could kind of hide and
Yeah.
stay under the radar. Here, it's like we know everybody. It's like, well, this guy doesn't do anything on Discord. He hasn't posted any videos. We've never seen him before, and he's using mismatched gear and low awakened units. So and
Yes.
and low skill. So it's like out. It's like, oh, okay. So how is he doing this? But people who've got everything juiced out, they're even using the proper units for the week, aren't getting perfect scores.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, you can have everything, as you say, juiced out, and still fuck up, of course. But I mean, the telltale sign of a real human player is by now, come on, you got to have plus 10 skills. At least your primary ones, like Glacial Doom, that better be plus 10, Hellions, Hellfire Slash, if that's not plus 10, what is wrong with you? That's a B rank skill. So, um, and Tiger Bull has a 0 Hellfire Slash on his Hellion that he's been using this week. So, yeah,
And after we got done
whatever,
with the
dude.
book week too, so it's like
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like we had a
And
tome week.
Frizz Week in the arena. So, that would be like your number one priority to pump up that skill. So, whatever. So, um, yeah, so hopefully, good luck for the last 2 days. If, I think if I still perfect today and tomorrow, probably be top 10. There's got to be one person that fucks up, I hope. So, and then next week, for those who don't know, 235 weight plus 40% physical up. Holy shit. So how do you think we're going to deal with that one? Like, how do you bait stuff out that you would bait now safely? I mean,
That's gonna be rough. I mean, maybe use Zoma because he has that passive off the bat, but it's just like, well, if they crit with 40%, the chances of your Zoma living are pretty low.
yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things where maybe people are going to lose points because they have no other option to. I mean, I'm thinking already I'm going to use Halberd Source because of his passive and maybe incorporate some other dragons into the team for the physical. I mean, I'd like to use Orochi. I might use him because he'll be awakened too next week. We'll see.
Yeah. Is Orochi is that when you get a max awaken, is that increased to rolling attack or his scorch breath?
I think it's his Scorch Breath. Let me double
Oh, okay.
check.
Yeah, that kind of sucks, but because I think he can get pretty tanky, and then if you just have a really good rolling attack, he would be just like another killing machine, um, without 3 movement though. So, but more tanky than killing machine. So.
Oh, he's got three. He's got three
Oh, he
movement.
does.
Yeah, after
Okay.
First Awakening,
I'm
he gets
I'm a
it. Yeah.
retard.
Well, that's okay. At least you didn't answer wrong on a weight question.
Yeah. Yes. How do you not know? A's are 35 weight. I mean, okay, if arena's not your thing, whatever, that's fine. Um, but like everyone knows that. So, um, but we're not roasting those folks. We're roasting Gay Vision. But first,
Yes.
oh, quick, more about the physical next week. So, I'm still thinking about it. Obviously, if you got a Ragnar or a Boreal Dragon, or really anyone with a really strong non-elemental physical, they're gonna fuck your shit up. So you can't bait with that anymore, especially like a Dragon Lord True Form hitting you with a Dragon Swing. That's gonna be bad news for you. So even like other stuff like Hellion's attack is going to be stronger. Strong, actually more buffed than it is this week, right? Because no, it's the same buff because this is 40% to Frizz, right?
Right.
Okay, so he'll have the exact same buff next week because it's a physical. Dragwar is going to absolutely fuck anything up that he attacks with his Stormclaw. Killing Machine's rolling attack will do it. So I think you can still bait, but you just have to have a resistance to it. So that's why I'm really afraid of the non-elemental physicals because those are gonna absolutely
You
destroy
know,
next
Nightclubber
week.
might actually be very dangerous this week coming up.
Oh, don't say that out loud. Oh, I don't want to face night. I don't want to face Nightclubber next week. And if you deploy Nightclubber, you're an asshole. So you meaning anybody listening,
Might go S6 my Nightclubber, be like, hey guys.
right? I wonder, does it? I think Umaro still uses it. Like, it uses him in arena just even without the bonus, right? So
I think he
I don't
does. I
know.
mean, his is pretty tanky, and because he's got Max Beast Awaken too. He's got the Max
Yeah,
Awaken, like level 32 Mastery, so he's got everything and then some. So
yeah.
if that thing crits, he's probably gonna kill somebody next week. Not even,
Oh
it
yeah.
could 100% him.
He's AoE could too. Like, if he gets off, if you don't pay attention and you have like your White King in his range, that might be a one shot. So. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. The first day will be bots, of course, unless you're late to the party, so they won't be too bad. But 235 weight, I like it better. It's easier to slot in units that make sense, like to have maybe one 65 weighter, and then you've got. I'm so bad at math on the fly like this. Then you got three S's, so now you're at. What is that?
215.
215. Okay, so that's not a good idea. So maybe two 65 waiters, two S's, and then your F ghost. That's another option. You can do four S's and an A. So a lot of options there. Do you have your physical week team all set up or not?
Probably gonna do Halberd, True Lord Dragon form again, Boreal, and I'm not sure. Maybe Killing Machine. I'm debating
So
bringing him
that's
in for this.
yeah. So that's 65, and then Halberd's 115, and Killing Machine's 165, and then your Burial's two. So you got another slot for another A in there. So Hellion maybe? I don't know.
Maybe Hellion. I don't know. I'd like something, or maybe I could bring a Rochi this time around. I'll have to see what his stats look like, because he's going to be definitely tankier than Helion, because he's a
Yeah.
dragon. So right now, his base HP for level 98 when awakened is 773. That's pretty good without any gear
Yeah.
on. So I could boost him to like 1,000 HP easy.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty good. And again, the dragon gear is awesome. I said last time, so you can put that on him as well. Um, another really good A option next week is the Bodkin Boyer. I don't give a crap about Kirill. I wanted the Boyer. He is awesome. So I got him max awakened. Spent a little bit to get that. It was like $300. So yeah, but
He's dangerous though. I mean, defense down, super attack. I mean, you could technically, I want to say maybe. I've seen Foxy 3-star or get close to 3-star on Orochi 9 using him. So I mean, he's definitely a very powerful unit at Max
yeah.
Awakened.
Yeah, especially if you're weak to zap, but even if you're not, he just has the defense down, set up for like I can see that being really useful for future units that are really tanky. Like, I mean, I'm thinking specifically of S-Stark. I don't know if he's resistant to zap, but if you can hit S-Stark with Boyer's defense down first and then smash him with either a non-elemental or a Sizz, I think he's weak to Sizz and Bang. Then that might be enough to one-shot him so he doesn't do the heal. And then also Killing Machine 2 is weak to Zap, so that might be a good way to take him out, although he might be slower than Killing Machine 2, so we'll see. But anyway, yeah, good unit there. So I'm thinking, again, a lot of talk about Sorrow in the chat. Yeah, of course. I mean, Sorrow, he's got the grabby hand, which is going to do on my Sorrow probably 600 to 700 damage. So that is going to fuck people up really good, even more than it does normally. So, and then his bang, especially if you make him as a leader and he's hitting a bang a week, it'll probably do like 2,000. So
Oof.
yeah, that'll probably do it. That'll probably do it. So, so cool. Anything else arena wise? We can talk about our Malcolm conversations next.
I think we can move on to Malcolm. I think arena-wise we're pretty good. Next week's going to be interesting. I'm gonna see because again, there's some people who myself who mostly built like a mage team, and now they've got to really kind of look in there. I have units on reserve because I level everything, but for people who are just purely caster based, going into this next week is going to be a living hell. If you thought Frizz week
Yeah.
was bad for like your WK, and this is going to be awful. You're looking at some real trouble. I'd be prepping right now if I were you guys.
So are you just like a mage guy like when you play RPGs, or is that just how your account shaped up? Or do you plan on changing that?
So generally, I'm kind of a guy who could play anything. I started off with warriors. I can play a mage. I can play like a stealth character. But with how things were, getting WK early on and even getting like one awakening on him was kind of, well, he's really good, and I'll just build around him. And then once I saw Zoma and Zoma's tool set, okay, we got to get this guy added. And then it's just like, well, I'll just keep collecting mages. Like you were telling me about Cedo, but I think he's Malroth here. Like getting Malroth when he
Yeah,
comes out and
Malra.
building around him too. And it's it seems like a good strategy because it's worked out. It's pushed me through content, especially with having Baramos maxed out too. So it's mages have really kept me out of trouble. I mean, because I was screwed. I was dead to rights on that Orochi fight without the punch scroll. I was like done.
Yeah.
I was stressing that out. First week it came out, and then it's like, well, I can still muscle this with these mages, and sure enough, my healer just muscles through 661 HP healed. We just go through the fight, and I win. Yay, mages!
Um, yeah, that is a good point. Actually, before we go on to Malcolm stuff, so this is like really helpful for folks. We've got four attack types. We got physical, martial, breath, and spells, right? So I totally agree that what you just said about the mages has really helped out your account in those specific situations. They can't miss. There is no stat that defends against them except resists. And they're usually long range attacks, so that's the advantage of spells, right? Also, they can be pumped up, especially if they're A rank spells. They can be pumped up a lot if you have wisdom gear and stuff like that. Um, and then I think everyone kind of knows the value of physical. Again, it's just like spells that can be pumped up with stats and gear. It seems to have the highest damage potential of all the four types, although it has the highest risk because you usually have to get up in people's faces and you can miss, and it goes up against the defense stat and stuff like that. So everything has its ups and downs. People shit on breath, and I think breath is getting less shit on lately because of Halbertsaurus. But breath is just, I mean, it has like every advantage. Right now, it just has lower modifiers, right? It can't miss. It can't be defended against except with resistance. And it's
Doesn't
so,
crit, but that's
yeah,
the only drawback is
cricket,
it doesn't
yeah,
crit, but it always it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit a bunch of enemies if it's Halbertsaurus or True Lord Dragon form, and
yep,
you're still a decent ways away from the enemy at that point. They still got to
yep,
come to you, and then you could switch up to a stronger attack. So it's good
yeah,
mid range, good mid
yep.
range opener.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Dragon True Form and Halbersaurus, the fan shaped is it's an awesome AOE. Like you're almost always hitting a lot of stuff with it. It's so much better than the straight line that Dread Dragon has, for example. Um, a couple of other feature units are going to have that same fan shape. S-Dark actually has a Zam fan shaped breath attack. I think it's a much lower modifier than the two dragon guys, but yeah, breath is good. Also, the other thing about breath and martial is they're not dependent on your attack stat or your wisdom stat. It's just level. So um, you don't necessarily like the difference between a fully awakened Zoma, for example, and a no awakened Zoma with his A rank spells is really big. Just because he has not only those bonuses but also a big change in his wisdom stat. Now, if you compare that to Dragonlord True Form, who doesn't get a bonus from his awakening to his Fire Breath, um, he has the exact same power to his Fire Breath, fully awakened, as he does zero awakened. So, because it's all dependent on level, right? So that's another thing that lower spenders can kind of hang their hat on is breath and martial attacks. And we are seeing in Japan, martial attacks are getting a lot stronger. Have you seen the Demon Beast? She's not a demon, she's a beast, but her name is Demon Beast Vera. I
I've
think
heard of
she's
her. I
from
haven't
like,
seen her, but I know with the 120 update, essentially rank 7, it's just like they're starting to reorganize because every once in a while I'll take a look at the JP ranks and you know Dark Lord got moved back up to like fourth after Skill Blossom. He was like
yeah,
all the way down 28th, and it's like I'm waiting to see when they're going to shift over some of these lower units with Marshall because it's going to happen now. I mean, the game is, or the developers are starting to realize or put more stock into these higher levels because if you've gotten something to like rank 7 as an S unit, do you really want to make it worth your while? Because I don't think people are getting a lot of rank 7 S units, period, just anytime soon
right.
over there. So
Yeah.
they're actually making those count, and that's good because that's what we rolled back to originally, where with the orb situations, like making the most out of your choices. Like I had to make 3 choices for my Dark Lords. Which 3 was I gonna do? I would have loved to have gotten True Lord Dragon form as well done, but I wanted Sorrow and my 2 mages done. So it's like I have to live with that choice.
Right. I think you made the right choice though, right? No
I think
regrets?
so too. Nah, no regret because I should be using Sorrow. I should be bringing him in next week, maybe for physical, because that's not a
Hmm.
bad idea either. He's only awakened 1, but at the same time he's got the move set. I plus 10'd his fist last night. Just I was like, I got like 255 books on here. I was just like, people in the stream were watching, like, you should plus 10 this. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it. So just insta plus
Yeah.
10,
Like
30k gold
literally,
later.
yeah. Literally maybe the best skill in the game right now is the grabby hand from Sorrow. So yeah. Good idea.
So that may be
Um,
another composition for later. We'll see. Um,
right. Right. So I mean, in summary, if you are like lamenting that you can't spend, and I can't do that. I can't just like max awaken like every S that I want to use. I can't do that. Or I can choose not. I'm choosing not to do that. Let's just say, um, you know. But there are some units that I know for sure don't really need it as much. And it's specifically like Dimension Dragon. I know he gets a bonus of 10% total to his breath attack, but he doesn't really need to be like he needs like maybe one awaken to get that special skill that he has, but he still has a super powerful breath attack that like anyone can get access to just by pulling him once, So breath and martial budget friendly options for everybody to keep in mind. So
So, and with that, you would say, well, I think mages are less budget friendly, as we've learned. We really need to
yes,
pump out the mages. If you want a mage unit, max awaken them. For the physical units, well, I mean, you could get away with
yeah,
one awaken. Like, look at KM. People got away with just one awaken for KM for the extra move set forever. So that's a
yeah.
good way to go if you're free to play or if you're on the lower end of spending.
That's a great point. Yeah, mages might be the most stat dependent of the 4 types of units for sure. Because like if you don't max awaken your physical, they're still usable. They're still not like a mage that's max awakened might not be a one shot, easy one shot. You know what I mean? But like a base level Baramos, for example, he'll just get wiped out. So yeah, that's probably true. So got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about your Malcolm conversation. So how did it go with yours? What was the subject?
So essentially, he asked me because I eat through content like nobody's business. Like, what else could we, do for the game? Like, what else should we have added? And he essentially brought up mixing up some other events or some other combination of things. And the one that caught my eye, he mentioned to me was, like a recruit up event. And I'm like, I think people would like that. We haven't seen a recruit up event in the game, period. And that could have went well with this event. Also, I think maybe dropping this as the same time for Orochi for the summer festival would have been a little bit better too. More distractions at once for people, but definitely putting some other things for the veterans to do on the side while the more casual, the people just starting out can focus on these little events because I mean it only realistically took me 8 hours to max rank the ghost, and then another 4 hours to finish all the quests. It wasn't. It was DQ1 event essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, this event sucks. It's
Yeah,
not really. It's like a metal shop and one farmable monster. So,
it's a good
and
monster. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
yeah, he's good.
I would have loved to have seen, even though I have most of them done, just some of the older monsters farmable for people, so they could at least get a couple rank ups on some monsters while farming some tokens, something to help people out, get a little bit more value for their stam. But I know they realistically can't go back in and change the events after the fact for people in that regard, which I think is why they're doing like these social media campaigns on the side to kind of supplement form, because we have rank 6 now, so they're like, here's an extra orb we're going to give you because, well, you can get Juliante to 6 now, and we're only giving you one orb for this event. So they're being smart about it.
Okay, so you said something. Let me back up. What is? I had Alzheimer's early on. Oh, the comment that they can't change stuff. So they already changed Dread Dragon. Remember that they literally removed it from the DQ1 event, and they just doubled it up with, I can't remember what else, but it was on like a slow week.
Well,
It was
they
during
can't they can't change internal things, but they can shift the timeline around. They can do
yeah
that. They can,
yeah
they dropped rank 6 early. In fact, I didn't know this for a while. We weren't technically supposed to get in the game for like ever. Like it was
uh
armors were supposed to come out later on. But they can shift things around in the timeline, but I don't think they can physically go in and modify those events differently. But they can give them to us earlier though. So, I mean, maybe we'll see some out of season, events coming soon for units that we really want for global, given that they can shift the timeline around. But actually having them try and do physical changes for the events, I don't see that happening.
oh yeah, totally, yeah. So the prevailing message between content creators and the peanut gallery and Discord is that nothing can be changed, nothing can be done about it. um you dumb whales who want to eat through content and then you demand more. I, Mr. Casual, love this pace. Therefore, I'm going to argue that it's better for everybody because I prefer it that way, right? And I've never heard of that argument. Like, God, in Raid and War of the Visions, if there's a slightly slow week, you get so much bitching across the board. Like there is an expectation of a cadence, but a quantity of content. You know, sometimes it goes a little bit less, but generally speaking, War of the Visions only ever ramped up over time. You never had this regression that we're going through right now. And that kind of leads me to what I talked about with Malcolm was kind of that. And he's in a tough spot. He's trying to kind of get an impression of what the community's thinking, and we, for some reason, have this maddening um, concentration of folks who are very vocal about they like the breather. Yeah, and that's the term that has been thrown around a lot is I appreciate the breather, right? And it's like you have been brainwashed into thinking you need a breather by the game. You don't need a breather. What you want is more okay, why do you want a breather? So you want more resources. You want to accumulate more gold, which is like, yeah, of course, everyone wants to accumulate more resources, right? You know what I'm talking about? Am I making any sense so
Yeah,
far?
I mean
Okay.
they want to hoard gold, they want to do other things. Well, why can't you do that and have a meaningful event at the same time and kill two birds with one stone? Because there's other events in the pool. There's other things that they could bring to us and do. Like right here, major complaint about the current event is, well, when you finish all the quests, when you max out the ghost, you still are probably gonna need to farm about another 10,000 tokens. Well,
hmm
they could have used some extra quests for it or things of that nature, or had a separate event for some other things to do at the same time to help those
Yeah.
folks out, instead of like, well, I'll just take it easy and I'll like, no, you're not going to take it easy. You're still going to play. You're just not getting more for your stam this week because of it.
Yeah, yeah. No, Luis, breathers should not exist, and let me tell you why. So, um, well, to address what you said a little bit ago, yes, they should do that, but also we don't need to be subject to, um, feeling like we have to accumulate gold. They can design the game. And I know they're not going to do this, but a gotcha game can train you so that the way you play, you naturally accumulate the resources that you need through dedicated play. And it doesn't really happen in Dragon Quest Tact because nobody has enough gold for everything they want, right? And so because of that gold shortage, I think